Nishmas Nomi Bas Yaakov. Parashas tells us, Lecha. You must go. Avram is commanded, Me'artzecha, from your land, U'melodetcha, from your place of birth, U'mebeis avicha, and from your father's home. V'yomer Hashem el Avram, Lech lecha me'artzecha me'ladcha me'beis avicha el haaretz asher arecha, to the land which I will show you. B'pasuk zeh, Rabba diyukim, Shamdu aleim kvar mefarshim. There's many questions we can ask on this single verse. Oimru lech lecha. Ma inyan lech lecha? Shehu meyoyse lecha. Why does it have to say lech lecha? Lech lecha. Go. Just say lech. Go. That's all you have to say. Why lech lecha? What's lecha mean? To you. So it's a very unique terminology. Go to you. To the land. Very strange. What's Rashi's interpretation of this? For your benefit. He's saying, don't think you're doing this for me. Lech lecha is for your benefit. Lech lecha, for you.
Yeah, it's for you, not to you. Not
for
to
you.
you.
Well,
For you.
Some interpret it to be to you.
To you would be elecha.
Lech lecha.
Yeah, that would be go to you.
Okay.
Lech lecha means go for yourself, go for you.
For you. Okay, let's see. V'tzarch bir v'chi Avraham oyev haya tzarch lematoras of fniyos shel hanoscha letovascha. 1 second. You're telling us this is for your benefit? Avraham Avinu was about to, or very much proved himself when he was willing to sacrifice his own son. Do you think Avraham is thinking about his own personal gains in any effect here? Why does Rashi have to tell us it's for your benefit? Avraham's not thinking about his benefit. Hashem says he does. Not only that, why doesn't it say tzei? Leave. Why does it say go? You generally say leave the place and go to the land. Why does it say go from? What's this going from? We see this terminology just now that we read in last week's Sidra, where Noach was told to leave the ark.
Leave the bed. And he's not saying leave the bed.
Right, he's not saying leave, he's saying go. And he gives an example again of leaving, where it says by Noach, it says Tseh min hateva, leave the ark. Once the ark, had found its ground and he could leave, he was told to leave. So leave the ark. So why is Hashem not saying leave your land, your birthplace, and your father's home? Oitzarch bir is another required understanding. What are these three stages, or these three terminologies of from your land, your father's, your birthplace, and your father's home? Like, does Avram not know where he is? Like, well, I have to establish a number of times, like, this is the address, and then I have to reiterate the address. What am I learning from these three stages? Just Hashem should have just said, go to the land that I want you to go to. Done. I don't have to tell you to leave where you are. It's clear if I tell you to go, you are going to be leaving where you are. Yeah, understand? Or at least the question, do you understand? So the Nesiv Shalom answers. Ha'inyan adas avoida. It's going to tell us through the prism of self-improvement and spiritual work. Not only that, he says the order of events are also misaligned. It should not say, go from your land and from your birthplace and from your father's home. Because if you think about it, the order is before you leave anywhere. Let's say I'm going on holiday now. Yeah, I'm going to leave my house, then I'm going to leave the surrounds, and then I'm going to leave Cape Town. You understand? I don't say leave Cape Town, then leave Sea Point, and then leave, 8B Avenue Le Sueur. That's not the order of events.
And she's coming back.
I'm coming back, don't worry. So, says here, Hare Seder Yitzia Hulef, Koidim Yitzia Ma'bayis, V'achagam Aladchim Meshpacha Rak Achak Yitzia Me'aretz. You first leave your house, then you leave your family, and then you leave your land. Even when people leave a place, the family follows them to the airport, then you leave them there. So why is it again saying in this order? Why is it backwards? V'yesh loymar b'zeh. The kavana kan al inyonim midos v'tchunos shesh ba'adam is referring to our attributes, our midos, that are within us. You know why? Because there are attributes that are within us that need to be rectified. And those attributes, some of them come mitzad haaretz shnimtza ba. They come from the land that you're upon. So South Africans are generally known to have good attributes in many, many elements. It's a known thing. You speak globally, people say, South Africans, they're so nice. We won't speak about Australians. But South Africans have great midos. And at the same time, there are many elements that a person may gather from their land and their surrounds of the land that actually give them really bad midos. And there are many elements that we've imbued upon us by virtue of the land that we inhabit. The Rambam writes in Hilchos Deis, Derech briyose shel adam niyos nimshach b'da'osav v'maisav achare'av v'chaveira v'noyek minag anshe medinoisoi. Check this out. The Rambam says that it is the nature of a human being to be affected by their surrounding, to be affected by their friends, and to do like them. If one's friends behave in a particular way, if one's environment is a particular way, then that is something that an individual is going to be affected by implicitly. The nature of a person is to be influenced by their surrounding. Important factor to realize we have now inside of us attributes, positive and negative, that come from our surrounding and come from what we see. That's why one of the most vital spaces is the person davening in a minyan, parenthetically. Why? Because they are then surrounded by a different artzius. They're surrounded by a different mentality and by people that are functioning in a different way. And they're learning from them rather than learning from a different frequency in terms of their positioning. And that's the first step. Lech lecha me'artzacha. You have to leave the land. You have to be aware of the land and its effect on you. But he says, know this, those attributes that come from your location, come from the surrounds, aren't as deep. There are much deeper attributes that are found within us that come from a different place. And those, those ones from the land, you can uproot. Much easier to get rid of, much easier to sort of say, you know what, this is something I picked up just from the general lifestyle that I've had here, and something I can learn to readjust. The culture that I'm surrounded by, I can sort of learn to evolve out of that culture if it's a negative culture. V'yesh, but there are deeper ones, that come from your birthplace. What is your birthplace? These are inherited attributes that come from your family, come from your parents, come from your grandparents, come from intergenerational PTSD or whatever you're carrying as a Jew. Shemidas Tushrasha is Mishrashas Kva Yoser Amok. Those are much, much deeper. You're born with those attributes. You have to go from the place of your birthplace. Then, even deeper than that, are the ones from your parents' home. This is something that has been ingrained in us from the way we've been educated, the way that we've been brought up. So we've learned behavior. Not only are we born with behavior and with certain attributes that need to be rectified, we learn behavior from our parents, from our teachers, and from those who are instructing us. K'moed kasav, hein ba'avin halalti ubechet yachmasani ami, sheheim pagamim atvuim badam sho'isa kasha yois lako. Those come into your blood. You've learned, we've seen how our parents behave, we've seen how interactions are in homes, and that's where kids pick up those behaviors. And that carries on. That's very, very hard to uproot, a particular form of behavior. Yosef Amak ad sheyagia el haaretz asher arecha, hainu sheyagia letachlis hadveikus Hashem. This is essentially what Hashem is saying to Abraham. Leave from the spaces that you have inside of you that are holding you back. All of the attributes from your cultural experience, from your birthplace, the innate attributes that you have, and from the learnt attributes that you've gotten from your teachers. And now he explains, Perush Lech Lecha. He's taking now Rashi's interpretation, go to yourself. Lech Lecha. Go to yourself. For your benefit, meaning, clearly, Avram Avinu is not interested in financial gain. What Avram Avinu is interested is in his development as a human being, his spiritual development and his spiritual gain. And that's where a person can now start to engage with pleasure in their relationship and in their experience of God. The greatest joy that a person can have is their connection with God. It is premised, our enjoyment and our pleasure with spirituality is premised on the rectification of negative attributes. When we're able to discover, number one, the things that are holding us back from being our best, the attributes that we've inherited and the learned attributes and all of the things just through osmosis that are holding us back, when we discover those and are able to work on them and allow them to be opened up and aerated and healed, then a person can start to experience spiritual bliss. Then a person can start to have the freedom and experience a general sense of connection to spirituality. שבוי אליו אדם אחד ותולן הנעל מחשבת רעת בעניין אמונה הפקודה יסויסויבה או יאמר לו הרב הקדוש מאופתא מחשבת אלו אינם שלך אלא של שכונך הסוי במיר אמונה. Unbelievable. Listen to this story. There was a man, he came to the Opta Rav and he said he's got a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and the Opta Rav said to him, your thoughts that you're experiencing now, they're not yours. They're your neighbors. Your neighbors, where's Rao when I need him, you know? They're your neighbors. And your neighbor is struggling with emunah. Your neighbor is struggling with faith. And you are dealing with it by virtue of being a neighbor with him. Now, what does that mean? There's an automatic transferal from your neighbor?
There is.
Well, depends maybe if it's a townhouse or not, If you engage with your neighbor.
You have your windows and doors facing there, windows and doors, like we learned.
Yes, if they're not facing one another. But he's saying on a deeper level, we are affected by the people that we're surrounded by. If you are surrounded by people that have emunah, people that are sensitive, people that are trying to grow, people that are building themselves in a spiritual way, then you are going to be influenced by that behavior. Again, I'm going to reiterate, that's why there is such power. I'm going away now for a Shabbos. I need it. But on another level, it's so much more powerful to be in an environment where you're surrounded by people that are continuously growing, continuously having a sense of discipline in their space of spiritual, development. And that's a very, very vital environment to start your day off with and to end your day off with. That's why to start your day off with a Shachris, together with other Yidden that are davening together and learning together, and then to end off your day with a Mincha and Ma'ariv, are such vital components for a person's development. Because you're learning constantly and downloading constantly information of people's behavior and what people value in the world around you. And imagine going straight home from work and not engaging in a minyan. It's just like unfathomable how people survive in that type of frequency. They're just carrying all of that back into their house and they're carrying on marinating in that, rubbish. So the minyan is able to wash that off, and then you come back home and you got a bit more of a different perspective. And that's what he says here.
To be receptive to it, though.
Totally, that's another level. Yeah.
But to bring all of that into the shul.
Listen, it says Timshechenu. You have to take the Yetzer Hara into the Beis Hamidrash. You take your dirt into the shower. I'm not advocating walking around in your towel in the shul, but essentially that's what a shul is. A shul is really a spiritual shower. That's what it's doing. It's cleansing off, your perception, and it's allowing you to be lathered in a healthy mind.